Okay, here we are, right on time. Let's give folks time to get in. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. I'm checking my technology, making sure that everything is as I want it to be. Okay. I'm going to use my audio from Zoom, to broadcast this. So do me a favor, you guys, let me know if you can hear me. Let's see. I've turned on. I don't see notes, so I can't tell if you guys can hear me or not. Ah, there we go. Jennifer says she can hear me. Okay, now I'm going to push a button here and tell me if you can still hear me. Okay, I had two audios going at the same time, one on Zoom and one on LinkedIn. So now I've turned off LinkedIn. I'm speaking through Zoom. So let me know if you can still hear me. Hey, Dr. Felisa, good to see you. Natalie, all right, got folks showing up. Excellent. Okay, thank you, Natalie. So you guys can still hear me. That is a good thing because we are about to kick this puppy off, start rocking and rolling. As soon as I get ready to share my screen here, yep, everything looks good. And we are just about ready to begin. Let's see here. Share this for me. Okay. And then up, and that should do it. All right. Looking good. Okay, I am going to escape that and check one more time to make sure that all the technology is good. Hey, Lakeisha, how you doing, lady? All right. I see Taryn, all the way from California. Outstanding. Good to see you. Kristen, folks are rolling on in. All right. We have, let's see, we're 2 minutes in. Not bad, not bad at all. Uh-oh. What happened? Oh, that was me. Okay, good. Looking good, looking good. All right, outstanding. Okay, now because this is, our first time doing this, the inaugural, I'm going to, get rolling, and then I will actually pause and check to make sure that you guys can still hear me and that everything is rolling fine. And I may do that a couple of times as we go through this, but this is our inaugural unveiling. So, Latanya coming in from Texas. All right, outstanding. Good to hear from you guys. Yeah, Lakeisha, doing well, doing well. This is a big day. Been looking forward to this for 15 months now. Yeah, we've been building and training for 15 months because this is serious business we're talking here. All right, let me see here. I'm going to give this about 45 more seconds, and then we will be off to the races. Folks still checking in. That's a good thing. All right. Okay. I like what I'm seeing here. It's a beautiful thing when the technology works, I love it when it works. Let's come here. And I'm going to go ahead and bring this back up. So we're live. Outstanding. Outstanding. Okay. One last check. Bring me back. Thank you very much. All righty. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome, welcome. We're about to kick this puppy off. All right, here we go. Hello, hello. Welcome to the unveiling. Welcome to the Grown Folks Cafe, produced by the Grown Folks Computer Club, because panic is optional, preparation is not. All right, so we're going to go ahead and start the slideshow here. Okay, checking in one more time over here. Not hearing from you guys yet, so I hope you're still with me because we are ready to rock and roll. All right. The Grown Folks Cafe is a bi-weekly mini webinar series of which this is episode number 1. So this one may be a little bit longer than what the rest of them will be because I'm laying the groundwork and explaining to you guys exactly how this whole thing is set up, as well as introducing myself, my mentor team, your mentor team, and letting you know what's available for you. Okay, there's been a lot going on in the whole world over these last 15 months, but we've had our heads down and we've been going for it and getting it done. So let's go ahead and get started. The name of today's program is Diversity Work, Winning in the Age of What Now? We're going to talk about how builders, fighters, and future-focused professionals pivot with power in a changing economy. This is being presented by yours truly. My name is Lance T. Walker. I am your host with the most. I am the founder and facilitator of the Grown Folks Computer Club, and you'll find out a little bit later what exactly that means. But in the meantime, in between time, let us start the engine. Before we begin, let me do a check. You guys say something to me in the chat. I'm just checking in over here to make sure you can hear me. Got nothing for, okay, cool. Thank you, Kristen. All right, back to our show. Come here. All right, before we begin, this is for people who are ready to think strategically, not panic emotionally. It's okay to panic, but you want to be able to get beyond it and focus on the facts, because there's a whole lot of gaslighting going on and people telling you things that they want you to believe, but they're not really true. So we're going to cut through a lot of that today. Also, just know that, I'm not going to be sitting here trying to convince you of anything. I'm going to trust that your spirit knows when you hear the truth. Okay, it's going to resonate, and you'll feel it in your spirit that, yeah, that is true. And also, hopefully, it'll make logical sense to your mind as well. So I want you to take notes today. We're going to go through a lot of material. This is designed to help you move, help you get into motion, not just feel inspired. Okay, motivation is a wonderful thing, but it's not all that we need. So I want you to take notes, take screenshots, whatever you need to do, and definitely, get the what is that called? The replay. Okay, because like I said, we're going to go through a lot of material, and I know most of us don't remember everything that we see, especially when it's something like this where we're talking about new stuff and things that you maybe hadn't thought about before. So you're going to have a lot of stuff going through your mind while I continue to talk about other things. So make sure that you can come back to this material. We're not gatekeeping. It's not a secret here, not to you guys anyway. So drop your biggest takeaway in the comments as we go. I will be checking from time to time. I am working solo today, so I'm a little bit restricted in being able to see you guys' comments as I talk, but I will check in periodically. And second, or lastly, stay until the end because you're going to want the next step opportunity. Trust me, it's an irresistible offer. You're not going to want to miss this. All right, let's go. Here's what we're going to cover today. We're going to talk about what changed in the workforce and why so many smart people feel completely stuck right now. We're going to talk about why the old DEI career playbook, whether you're working in the actual DEI field or not, the career playbook is no longer enough. It's just not working. A lot of reasons for that, but we're going to talk about the ones that apply to you. We're going to talk about what the new opportunity really is. There is a huge opportunity right in front of us, but if you don't know where to look, you'll completely miss it. We're going to talk about the 4 pillars of our pivot with power system. Okay. And, I won't spend a whole lot of time on it, but you're going to want to know this information because it's going to apply to any mission, any particular goal that you have in life. This is going to be information that will help you understand what you need to actually succeed. We're also going to talk about how to position yourself to win in the age of AI. And that's going to be critical information for you because there's a lot of folks that want to position you to lose. We're going to defeat those goals. Finally, we're going to talk about the mentor model of the Grown Folks Computer Club, the mission plan, and of course, the irresistible offer. Okay, let me check in real quick. Let me see. Okay, I still see Latanya says we're here. Natalie says we can hear you. Okay, outstanding. Back to our show. All right. Why does this conversation matter? It matters because what we do at the Grown Folks Computer Club is we help experienced professionals, not rookies, experienced professionals, make strategic career pivots with clarity, structure, and power. Okay, making a career pivot in midlife is no small thing. Okay, that's why so many never actually pull it off. Okay, but in this particular time in history, we've got to pull it off because it's been made necessary. Okay, we serve mid-career professionals concerned about AI. We serve people displaced by the collapse of old DEI pathways, especially politically motivated ones. We serve veterans and mission-driven leaders who know how to make good decisions under pressure. We serve smart, capable people who know that they're meant for more. We are not here to sell panic. I'm not here to scare you, okay, and into doing anything. I'm here to help you build pathways to get from where you are to where you want to be. All right, this is the moment we're in. A lot of people are asking what now, hence the title of this mini webinar. Okay, what now? What now after layoffs? What now after DEI backlash? What now after automation and AI anxiety, which is rampant? What now after being told to work twice as hard for half the security? As I said earlier, this is no small shift. Okay, this is a literal cultural reset. And what we're about is helping experienced professionals make those strategic career pivots with clarity, with structure, and most of all, with power. Who we're looking for. My purpose today, in addition to hopefully providing you with some valuable information that you'll be able to take away right away, is I'm going to be very transparent about this. We're looking for 25 wolf tamers. Okay, people who are not afraid of facing reality. Let me tell you something. People who have worked in the DEI space in particular, I can tell you, we're not going to talk about my life history and all that good stuff today. We'll get into that in future meetings. But I'm here to tell you, I have a whole lot of respect for people who are able to walk into the wolf's den every day and stick their hand out and politely ask the wolf to behave like they're civilized. Okay, I know how difficult a job that is, and I have a whole lot of respect for you, and that's why I call you wolf tamers. Okay, so what I'm looking for today is 25 wolf tamers to add to our team so that we can make things happen for a whole lot of other people. Okay, I'm looking for people who feel the outrage over the anti-diversity and AI-driven layoffs, which seem to be happening every other day, but also people that realize that outrage is not enough. Okay, we're outraged. Now what? Okay, what do we do about it? I'm looking for people who are willing to do the work to take advantage of the tremendous solutions and opportunities that are available to us now in a completely remade marketplace that has literally been trying to erase you. Okay, I'm looking for leaders who refuse to be erased. Okay, let's talk about the golden opportunity. The hidden opportunity in today's market is not technical, it is strategic, and you are sitting perfectly positioned. Okay, you can solve two of the world's most pressing problems at the same time: diversity enhancement. Okay, the world is becoming more and more diverse every single day. Doesn't matter if a few boys in red hats can't handle reality. The world is becoming more and more diverse all the time. Okay, so two of the world's most pressing problems right now are diversity advancement and ethical AI implementation. Ethical being the key word. Okay, so the main thing that I want you guys to understand and accept and realize right now, today, at this moment, is that you are not obsolete. You are not behind. You are standing at the crossroads in a market that changed the labels, but they didn't change the need because they couldn't. All right. They want to play games. We're going to play better. All right. Let me check in real quick over here. I see Selena. Hi, Selena. Okay. Latanya says we're here. Okay. You guys use the chat if you see something that, sparks you, because I will check in from time to time. So, okay, back to our show. There's hard news and there's good news right now. Yes, 600,000 Black women are gone from the workforce. That's the latest numbers that we have from February of this year. Okay. But the good news is, and this happens cyclically, everybody is at the starting line of the new technology. Whether you're in the workforce, whether you're doing the side hustle thing, whether you're an entrepreneur, whenever there's a new breakthrough in technology, such as the advent of the internet, okay, or now the advent of AI, those of us in middle age, we have actually lived through two once in a lifetime events. Okay, when Windows 95 came out in 1995, check it out, guys, that was 31 years ago. Okay, that was a once in a lifetime opportunity. And look at this. Here we are in 2026 with another once in a lifetime opportunity. A lot of people missed the first one. A lot more are going to miss the second one. Don't you guys be among them. Okay. Anytime there's a new breakthrough in technology, everybody starts at zero. Everybody is at the starting line. Okay. People who thought they were way ahead are all of a sudden back at the beginning. The race is just starting. Okay, and the ones in the best position to win, the ones in the pole position, are the people with human judgment experience, pattern recognition, relationship intelligence, ethics, leadership, and lived experience. Okay, don't let the propaganda boys tell you that it's all about learning 17 different AI platforms and you're not technical enough for what's happening going forward. BS, that is nonsense. Okay, what is desperately needed is people who have the experience that you have. Okay, let's talk about that a little bit more in depth. Okay, this is the first thing I want you guys to do. Take a look at the bigger picture around you, not just what they want you to see. Okay, yes, we're looking at a stat that says 600,000 Black women, which I, as a male, I see that as 600,000 Black families being pushed out of the workforce and trying to push them down into poverty. Okay. But there are other things going on too. And because of these things, I think this may help to answer the question that a lot of people seem to have. Why is it, where is all the outrage? 600,000 Black women pushed out of the workforce. Where is the noise? Where is the yelling? Well, this is why. It's because we've got two things going on at the same time. Okay. Yes, the first is the erasing of DEI and trying to turn the clock back on us. But the second is because of the AI revolution, check this out. Just this month, these two articles came out. There are 500,000 jobs gone from the economy just because of AI. Okay. And it's hitting Gen Z first. In other words, the entry level jobs just aren't there. The kids can't even get a foot into the game, they can't even get a foothold on the ladder. Okay. The second is Goldman Sachs just told us a few days ago that AI is erasing 16,000 more jobs net every single month. Okay. Now, you wonder why folks aren't more upset about Black women being pushed out of the workforce? There's a whole lot of folks being pushed out of the workforce. Okay. People that they care about more than you and I. Okay. The second thing that I want you to take a look at is the picture at the bottom. Okay. With all of the pressure on Latinos and Hispanics, hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of migrant field workers, hotel workers, construction workers, people like that have literally been pushed out of the workforce and maybe even pushed out of the country. Now, here's where I want you to see the bigger picture. Somebody is going to have to pick those crops at some point, or a whole lot of people are going to go hungry. Somebody's still got to make those hotel beds. Somebody's still got to swing those hammers on those construction sites. Who do you think they have in mind to do those jobs? Probably not their kids. They're focused on their kids filling these what few jobs are left. If they can push you out of the workforce and push the Latinos out of the fields, who do you think they want to see in those fields? Okay. When we talk about hard news, this is the bigger picture I want you to see. Not everybody's going to make it. Okay. But the good news is we have control over where we end up. Okay. A bunch of folks who aren't paying attention are going to wind up in places they didn't want to be. That doesn't have to be you. Okay. We're going to pay attention to what's going on. And you being here today is evidence that you're doing just that. Okay, let me check in with you guys real quick. Okay, Dr. T. All right. Outstanding. Good to see you here. Okay, you guys feel free to use the comments. I know I'm putting a lot of thoughts in your mind, and you're probably sitting there going, oh man. But at the same time, kind of check in with me and give me some feedback. Let me know what's going on in your mind. Okay. Here's the thing. We have control over where we end up. The key is you don't need more hustle. What you need is a better structure. Okay. Most people have been taught to work harder, to network more, to apply to more jobs and just keep pushing. Put your head down and keep pushing. But so often, most of the time, especially now, just working harder doesn't lead to success. And I'm going to give you the secret as to why. It's because there are 4 key ingredients that you have to have in order to actually create a successful result. And most of the gurus, most of the folks out here pushing courses and all these different systems and whatnot, they only teach 1 or 2 of those 4 key ingredients. I'm going to share with you all 4. So from now on, you know what you're looking at. Okay. The Pivot with Power system contains the mandatory 4 pillars to success, and success takes all 4. Now, I'm showing it to you in written form. I'm going to show it to you in visual, picture form in a minute so you can remember it easier. All right. But just to run over it real quick, the 4 things you've got to have in order to be successful, you've got to have a mission. Okay. Not just a want to, not just a, okay, that would be nice. A mission, something that drives your feet when they hit the floor in the morning. You got to know what the purpose is that you're here to fulfill, because you're always going to run into opposition. And if you don't have a mission in mind, you'll fold. Okay. That's the biggest one that most folks don't even approach. They talk about mindset and all these other different kinds of things. Mission goes way beyond mindset. Mission is the purpose that you're on this planet to fulfill. Okay, you've got to know what that is. And if you don't, you will flounder. All right. Strategy. You need a detailed, specific plan. A detailed, not okay, I'm going to get up and put in, 4 job applications today and then go out to the park. No, you need a detailed, specific plan that gets you from where you are to where you want to be. And you need a backup because life happens. Okay. So if plan A runs into a jam, you need a plan B. 3, tools. Oh boy, you've got to have a secret weapon. Okay. Your tools are your systems, your weapons, your language, your assets, and the technology needed to compete. That doesn't mean you have to turn into a techno nerd. That just means that you either use the technology or you have access to somebody who does. All right. And then 4th, and this is the most important one besides the mission, and that is the right mentors, guides, partners, and support around you. Okay. One of the realities about this cultural situation that just runs me up the flagpole is the stat that well over 90% of all Black-owned businesses are sole proprietorships. We're all out here trying to be superheroes on our own. Okay. But as we'll see in a second, we're going to talk about that whole team thing. Okay. The team changes everything. All right. The big boys work in teams. If you miss one of these 4 pillars, this whole structure loses momentum. And that's why effort alone is not enough. You can grind and grind, but hey, let's be straight up, frank, and open about this, boys and girls, men and women. Okay. We came to this country on slave ships. All right. It ain't about effort. There's a whole lot of folks in this country that are perfectly willing to see us work ourselves to death from sun up to sundown and just throw us on the pile and go for the next one. Okay. Just working harder is not the answer. And people who try to tell you that are people who don't want you to know what it actually takes. All right. Here we go. This is the same thing in image version. What I've done is kind of combined 2 stories. As I told you earlier, no matter what the story is, and any good story contains all 4 of these elements. That's what makes it a good story. This is the plot behind movies and TV shows and books. Anything that catches your attention, you go, wow, that was a good story. This is why. It's what's called the hero's journey. Okay, it contains these 4 elements. Now, in this case, I used the Wizard of Oz. Okay, what was her mission? Dorothy's mission was to get back home to Kansas. Okay, but those of you who maybe don't watch the Wizard of Oz don't know about it, but are more comfortable with, say, the Lord of the Rings. Okay, I used the Gandalf figure here to illustrate the same point. Okay, what was Frodo's mission? To get that ring back to Mordor. Okay, to free mankind on Middle Earth from the evil that was, gathering over the whole planet. All right. So the mission is something, let me just be blunt about it. The mission is something that you would be willing to give your life for. Okay. It's a purpose bigger than you. It's something that drives you. Now, for a lot of us, changing the face of corporate America, we thought was that mission. Well, they're not hearing it. So what does that mean? It means that mission is not the one you were sent here for. That mission was, you were given that mission to prepare you, and we're going to go into how that happened and why in a second here, but it prepared you for the next step. In other words, when you were working in DEI, all those skills you were developing, you were never just working DEI. What you were doing was laying the railroad tracks for the next locomotive. Okay. Pillar number 2 is the strategy. Okay. This is not just, I'm going to throw enough against the wall and hope some of it sticks. This is, I'm going to lay down a plan from A to B to C to D. Okay. And if you get derailed, if you get diverted, you've got a plan B, because you better have a plan B in this day and age. All right. Pillar number 3 is the toolkit. Notice in this toolkit, you've got your old style weapons, but you've also got your new style weapons, and especially AI. AI is your secret weapon. It's the one they want to use to try to destroy you, but you're going to use it to thwart their plans. And then, of course, pillar number 4 is the team. There's always going to be situations that come up where you're not going to be, either awake 24 hours a day or not have the particular skill that's necessary to have it. And then when you have team members around you, teammates who do have those skills, those connections, those abilities, they can save you and keep you moving forward where you would have fallen off by the wayside. Okay, so 4 pillars of success: the mission, the strategy, the toolkit, and the team. Let's move on. Okay, let me check in real quick. Anybody here? Oh, looky here. We got, yes, the ball is in our court. Thank you, Kristen. Okay, Jennifer, appreciate it. Yes, we do have a soul mission. Most of us never figure out what that is. Okay, what we want to do is actually help you sit down and figure that out if you haven't already. Okay, because once you do, that's what starts the engine. All right, back to our show. There are 1,000 definitions of success. Okay, as Mandino says in the book, The Greatest Salesman in the World, failure only has one father. Okay, failure is man's inability to reach his goals in life, his or her, whatever they may be. That's failure. Okay, success has 1,000 fathers. Well, I want to express real quick what our definition of success is for this purpose, for purposes of this meeting. Okay, failure only happens with loss of hope. Just because you've experienced a setback does not mean you failed. Okay, if you're confused right now trying to figure out what's next, that does not mean you failed. It's part of the process. Needing to rebuild is part of the process. For us, the definition of success is this: it's not the fighter who gets knocked down that loses the fight. It's the fighter who doesn't get back up. So if you get up one more time, then you get knocked down, you have to win. That's not hype, ladies and gentlemen. That's just math. Okay? And that is what the enemy always discounts. They always count on us quitting. And we are where we are today because our forefathers refused to quit. Hope that sank in. All right. There are wolves and sheep in the world. The wolves are having their moment right now. Okay. As I learned in the Air Force, I was told by a colonel on a special ops mission that the dogs of war have to be released every now and then to blow off steam, so that way they don't get all frustrated and pent up and blow up everything. Okay. And right now, dogs of war have been allowed to just run loose, run amok, okay, because of who's at the top. But here's the thing: wolves always have a blind spot. They always think that the world is just composed of wolves and sheep. And if you're not a wolf, then you must be a sheep. Okay, that's how they think. Okay, or as the guy at the top likes to say, the world is full of winners and losers. Okay, yeah, well, they're wrong. Okay, they have a huge blind spot. They always forget there's other folks in the story: the shepherds, the sheepdogs, and the builders. Okay, you remember how, well, probably you don't, but you remember the pictures of what London looked like in 1945 after World War II, the pictures of what Berlin looked like, nothing but rubble. Okay, well, if you go to London and Berlin today, you'd never know it. Why? Because the builders showed up. Okay, the future belongs to the builders, not the destroyers. It always belongs to the builders. It belongs to the people who can build what comes next, because the wolves never think about what comes next. They only think one move ahead. Ooh, me hungry, let's eat. They never ask the question, and then what? All right, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to ask, and then what? So here's DEI, reimagine. Let me check in with you guys real quick. Okay, all right, nobody's responding yet. You must be thinking about what I was telling you. DEI is now reimagined. Okay, and I know so many of us, you're stripping the letters DEI out of your resumes. You're not even mentioning it. But then, of course, How are you supposed to explain what you've been doing for the last 10, 15, 20 years, huh? How are you supposed to explain all those skills? Well, here's something for you. DEI now stands for delivering excellence independently. Okay? Never mind what they say. They don't know. Okay? I've heard some folks say it stands for don't ever include, as in Black people. I've heard some folks say didn't earn it. Okay, yeah, they're trying to cast aspersions. They're trying to, make it into something negative. But we decide what it means for us. And for us, DEI means delivering excellence independently. We are in the process of building something they can't burn, bulldoze, or bury. Okay? What we're building together is not dependent on anybody's permission. It's not dependent on slogans and cute phrases. Okay, and it's definitely not dependent on institutions that change their values with the cultural or political whims, okay, and which way the wind blows. Delivering excellence independently means owning your skill, naming your value, building your lane. You heard people tell you stay in your lane. Would you drive a car that only drove in one lane? Okay, no. We use all the lanes, okay? And we build the one that we prefer. And we're going to serve where we're both needed and wanted, okay? Corporate America's big mistake, okay? Corporate America has created its own competitive monster. When institutions choose exploitation over investment, which is what has been happening, they create the conditions for disruption. Okay? 600,000 Black women pushed out of the workforce, they just created 600,000 new competitors. Okay? Not what they imagine 600,000 scared, weak, hungry people willing to bow down and do whatever they're told. Oh no, those days are long gone. Okay? Discarding wisdom, relationships, trust, and human-centered leadership creates openings for new builders. Okay? In other words, to say it in the short form, collaboration beats exploitation every time. The next winners, the winners that are lined up at the starting gate right now, will not just be the smartest individuals, they'll be the ones with the strongest ecosystems. So let's ask the question, is AI a tool or a threat? Let me check in. Let's see, what's up, Jennifer? Government, public affairs, relations. Absolutely, the shift is coming. Yes, the ball is in our court, Kristen. Outstanding. All right, back to the show. Is AI a tool or a threat? Well, the short answer is both. AI might be the greatest danger that mankind has ever known. That's absolutely true. It could kill us all. We know this, but it could also be the greatest tool that mankind has ever built. We can be ruled by it, or we can learn to command it. So I'm going to ask you this question right now. If you're really concerned about AI, really truly concerned about it, why in the world would you let the Red Hat boys have all the tools and weapons? Why would you sit back and allow that to happen when you can do something about it? Okay? And here's the thing. Everything they're saying about AI right now, the same things were said about nuclear power 50 years ago. It's going to kill us all. It still might. Okay? But the San Onofre nuclear power plant sitting north of San Diego is cranking along 24 hours a day. Nobody even thinks about it anymore. Why? Because we learned to master the technology. That's what it's about. Master AI before AI masters you. The issue is not whether AI exists or whether AI is going to move into the mainstream. It already has. The issue is who's going to handle the governance and guardrails that regard how it's used. Who's going to have the input? Who's going to have the oversight? You are in the best position to make that happen, and I'm going to show you how in just a moment. Okay, the foundation is shaking. For the last couple of years, companies have been racing to implement AI. They've been reorganizing work. They've been changing titles. They've been doing all kinds of things, getting rid of AI, DEI people, pushing them out the front door. And what are they discovering in the meantime? They're discovering that speed without trust is dangerous. They're discovering that automation without judgment is unstable. They're discovering that policy without people is just a lawsuit waiting to happen. See, it's not just the tech. Without explicit decision ownership, without explainability, without human-centered design, people won't trust it. People will resist. People will fight. Gen Z is already turning their backs on AI because, as far as they're concerned, AI is just keeping them out of the workforce. All of a sudden, college students are dropping out and learning how to become plumbers and construction workers. Imagine that. Okay? The technology is moving faster than the oversight. The deployment is outrunning the discipline. Now, why should you care about that? Because you benefit from the problem. Axios just reported last week that nearly 8 in 10 executives say that their companies could not pass an AI governance audit if it happened today. They wouldn't pass. And guess whose value starts to rise in a situation like that? People who know how to ask better questions, people who understand culture, human behavior, organizational trust, public accountability, and of course, risk management. In other words, people like you. You are not obsolete talent. You are premium talent, but only if you choose to see yourself that way. And that's what the propaganda is all about, trying to get you to see yourself in a way that disempowers you. All right? You are better positioned than you think if you have experience in the following. And there's more. There's about twice as many of these as I actually put on the slide. But training and leadership, you hear me, veterans? Operations, training, communication, ethics, policy, pattern recognition, conflict management, culture and community building. You already carry the forms of human intelligence that technology cannot replace. But what you need now is the translation to be able to express that in a way that empowers you. Here is the way. Let me check in with you guys real quick. Okay. AI itself, not the enemy or the hero. Exactly, Natalie. It's a tool. Who builds it? Who controls it? Okay. Oh, I love that, Natalie. See, that's why you're our AI specialist, because you know what's going on. Let's see, Jennifer, not just master, but co-create with it so it can learn from us and absorb our integrity. Absolutely. Okay, you guys get it. I love it. Now, here's some news for you. While everybody is focused on AI, the folks at the top, the folks in the tech centers, they've already gone past AI. Okay, AI is not the top of the mountain anymore. Okay, what's at the top of the mountain is what's called HI, human intelligence. Okay, and human intelligence architecture, in other words, bringing human intelligence into the building structure of AI, it's about positioning human judgment, ethics, governance, and oversight, and putting it at the center of work in the era of AI. This is not about becoming a coder or a user. See, they want you to focus on those things so that you'll think that, oh, I got to go high tech. I got to be a tech bro. Oh, I can't do that. Okay. Or I don't want to do that. No, this is not about becoming a coder or a user. This is about understanding how to oversee systems, how to reduce harm, how to improve trust, how to guide decision making, and how to protect people while scaling innovation. Well, doesn't that sound like diversity, inclusion, and equity? Diversity, equity, and inclusion. DEI. I just gave you a description of it right there. Okay? You thought you were trying to get the wolves to act civilized. What you were doing was laying the railroad tracks for the next locomotive. HIA is where experience becomes future value. This is what's needed. This is what they're scrambling for that they're not telling you about. Okay? So, this is the toolkit that the Grown Folks Computer Club has been working on to prepare you for this journey. Okay? I'm not going through all these. I'm only going to go through the last one today because we have a limited amount of time. I could run an 8-hour seminar on this if I wanted to, going through all this stuff. We're not going to go put you through that today. Okay? But just to let you know what we're bringing to the table, the Grown Folks Computer Club memberships, okay, are incredible. It's all about community. It's all about building a structure around you so that you have all 4 of those pillars that you need. The 4-week Power Pivot Accelerator program is for people who want results like right now, yesterday will do just fine. Okay? They can get in, they can get a taste of what we're about and the mentor team that I'm about to introduce you to. Okay? And then from there, they can step into a membership or they can go off on their own and make things happen, whatever they choose, but it's available for them. We make available to you guest interviews on our Pivot with Power podcast. It's based on YouTube. Okay? Our LinkedIn newsletter comes out every week. It's called the Career Pivot Playbook. A lot of you are probably here because of that newsletter. And finally, the one we're actually going to talk about today is the Career Reinvention Kit, the Career Reinvention Framework with the CIR, which stands for Career Intelligence Report. Okay? Because reinvention is not random. You're not just going to go sit under a tree and cross your legs and wait for an apple to drop on your head and figure it all out. Okay? It's going to take a new lens, a new language, and a new blueprint for value. And if nobody tells you, you won't know. Okay? And that's what we're here to do, is to let you know. All right. Let's check in again real quick. I see something from Selena. Natalie's smiling. Something that will always be around. They just keep changing the name. That's exactly right. Okay? All right, Kristen, go for it. All right. Excellent. Okay. This is something that the team hears me say a lot. Superstars win games. Super teams win championships. Okay? Those of us who have the courage and the integrity to work in this field, to actually push for diversity and for fairness across the board, that takes a special kind of human being. Most folks just duck their heads and try to roll with the flow. Okay? But in the process of becoming superstars, sometimes it's easy to forget there's another level. Superstars win games. Super teams win championships. Nobody pivots powerfully alone. Okay? So, having said that, you got to practice what we preach. I'm going to introduce you to the members of your mentor team. We've been training together for the last 5 months to bring you some of the best resources and strategies available. Okay? As I said earlier, you don't need motivation. You're already here. You must be motivated. Okay? What you need is a table with the right people seated around it. So let's get started. First of all, our resilience strategist, Dr. Felisa Asbury. She's here on the call right now. Doctoral psychologist. Okay? Dr. Asbury specializes in helping people with what's called secondary or vicarious trauma. In other words, you're a veteran on the battlefield. You didn't actually come home with PTSD, but you're dealing with people all around you who are. You're a nurse, okay? You are dealing with people in their worst moments of life every day. Their trauma wears off on you. Dr. Felisa is actually also a 27-year law enforcement officer. Imagine that, okay? Now, you talk about dealing with other people's trauma. Dr. Felisa helps our members regain their clarity of purpose and rebuild their confidence so their next move is sustainable rather than reactive. Not just, what do I do next? But what's the plan? Okay? Natalie, who you heard from in the chat. Natalie is our AI success coach. Okay? Her official title is Workforce Transformation Lead. She guides our members through selecting, learning, and implementing AI tools, implementing being the key word, that increase your efficiency, your income, and your long-term relevance. This is not about becoming a coder. Natalie is about showing you how to use the stuff, how to make it work for you. All right. And that's what we want for you. Michelle Valentine Logan is our transformational development coach. She is a luxury and confidence consultant. All right. She helps people with their power presentation. Okay. How to show up the way you want to show up. Dr. Felisa helps you decide what you want, how you want to show up in the world. Michelle helps you show how you're showing up in the world. Okay. She also helps you convert your lived experience and your creative talent into premium market ready offers. All right. This is a world-class team, you guys. We're not playing. Cindy Storoy is our leadership and mission coach. Cindy is currently employed at a high level. Okay, we call it corporate VP, but we've got to make sure we keep things private where privacy is supposed to be. So we kind of keep her under the radar. But she runs let me just say, it's a travel-oriented business. Okay, what she brings to the table is she strengthens members' mission focus and command presence. Okay, people, when they hear the word discipline, they tend to think of a male-oriented, capability. Cindy is disciplined with a feminine touch, and 3 daughters and a husband. Let me tell you, I don't know how she stays sane, but she gets it done. Okay, and so she's able to help prepare our clients to navigate high-stakes career shifts. Okay, you can't walk into the room the same way on a $100,000 project that you do on a $500 website. Okay, Cindy brings it to the table rather. Dr. Watts, PhD, also on the call today. Marine Corps veteran, Semper Fi, Marine. Dr. Watts helps members turn their great ideas into viable ventures with focus, structure, and discipline, while staying aligned with your true purpose. Remember, we talked about purpose earlier, okay? Dr. Watts is our small business strategist, okay? If you've got an idea in your head that you just can't seem to bring into reality, she's the one, all right? Hey, Dr. T. Our virtual brand ambassador, you've seen her a few times in this presentation already. Her name is AI Grace. Grace does not exist in the real world. She is AI generated. She only exists online for right now anyway. I don't know, if they turn her into a robot, I might be in trouble. But anyway, she's our digital promotional model. She adds visual consistency, personality, and presence, something other people might call branding, okay, across our newsletters, our social posts, our videos, and other marketing materials. Okay, you'll be seeing a lot of her. Get used to it. She does a great job. And then finally, of course, there's me. I'm kind of pulling up the rear because I'm not looking to be the star of this show. Okay, pay no attention to that man behind the curtain. All right, my job is basically to set the group's strategic direction, to protect standards, to facilitate mentor collaboration, and anchor the Pivot with Power methodology. Okay, in other words, the integrity of the entire process and the direction that we move is my responsibility. Okay, but your team is what's available to you when you work with the Grown Folks Computer Club. All right, they are serious, they are world class, they are top notch, and we've been working 5 months just to streamline the process so that we all work together in the same direction, because that's what it's all about. All right, checking in. Okay, looking good. Kristen says she's loving it. All right, outstanding. Okay, back to where we were going. So what does winning look like for us? We talked about the definition of success. Okay, this is the definition of winning. You got to know your mission. You got to have a strategy that adds value to the market, okay, in a way that they can perceive. You got to use the right tools. Every tool is not for everybody. You got to be supported by the right team. We've brought a world-class team for your benefit together. You got to, then that allows you to move with certainty instead of fear. Okay? If you're waking up going out into the world in fear or driven by fear, your results are not going to be what you want because your results bring what your mind is focused on. Okay. You want to become known as a problem solver and a builder. That is what real career reinvention looks like. Okay. Now, what I've done is just lay the foundation, but we're going to get into the core of this right now. Okay. At this point, you have a choice. Okay. Everything that I've showed you so far is viable and you can take it and make use of it right now. Okay. But that would be the slow way. Your other choice is to work with us and do it the fast way. Why is that important? Because in this age of AI, the thing that we have the least available to us is time. Okay. This is April of 2026. Come July, starting the third quarter of 2026, there's going to be a whole nother shift coming down the pipe. Okay. We've been working and studying in this arena for the last 15 months. Make use of the time that we've invested so you don't have to. Okay. Time is one thing we are in short supply on. All right. So what are we doing? First, let me say this. What I'm about to show you is not for everybody. Okay. Let's be clear. This is not for the desperate. Now, how do we know if you fall into that category of desperate? If any job will do, if you just need something to put groceries on the table, then this might not be the right time for you. Okay. You got to handle your foundation first. I understand that. Okay. We're not trying to push you. We're not trying to sell you on anything. All right. What we're looking to do is to help you put your structure in place before you get to the desperation point. Okay. This is for people who want alignment, not just relief, strategy, not just survival, and reinvention, not just rescue. Okay. We're looking for 25 fighters, builders, and leaders that are ready to rock and roll. 25. Okay. All right. I'm going to show you the career reinvention kit. Checking in. All right. Thank you, Jennifer. Good to hear from you. All right. The career reinvention kit includes, again, like I did before, I'm going to show you this in text, and then I'm going to show you in illustrations and whatnot so you can remember it better. The Human Intelligence Architecture Field Guide. Okay. The field guide contains the definitions and get this, the secret, you're not supposed to know about it, job titles that are actively being recruited for right now today. Okay. There are 50 of them in this field guide. And when we update it next month, there'll be even more. And of course, you'll get the updated version. Okay. But there are 50 human intelligence jobs right now that not only are people recruiting for, but there are state regulations across the country that say that these positions have to be filled. And what are they paying? Remember I told you the old titles were being upgraded and upskilled and uppriced? Okay, you're talking jobs paying anywhere from $120,000 to $180,000 a year and up. Okay, now the biggest challenge I've had working with folks so far is they're used to getting paid what they used to get paid. And when you start talking about $150,000 a year, they just don't see themselves in that layer. Okay. I want you to get past that. Your skills are worth much more than you've been paid. Now I know inside you know that. Okay. But actually making it happen might seem like a bridge too far. It's not. You just need to know what's in this field guide. Okay. The Career Intelligence Report. This is the key that makes it all work. What this does is we've managed to use AI to set up a system where we combine your current resume, your LinkedIn profile, and your presence online. Okay. And we combine all those things together to create the Career Intelligence Report that tells you not only what you should be applying for, but exactly how the market is actually viewing you right now. Now, I'm here to tell you, I wish I had had this 20, 30 years ago going through my IT career, because it turns out when I ran this on myself, all three of the things that I was pushing forward as my number one assets that I thought would make me indispensable and totally desirable were all working against me and cutting the knees right out from underneath me. And I had no idea, because nobody told me what the market was seeing when they read my resume. Nobody tells you, okay? They just say no and move on to the next candidate. And I wound up walking around feeling like it was all racism, that I was just, had a concrete ceiling over my head and building resentment and whatnot. Whereas if I had had this information, I would have been able to take a whole different approach to my entire career, okay? Instead, I became an entrepreneur, and I like it better anyway. So anyhow, next in the career reinvention kit is we're gonna update your LinkedIn profile and rewrite your headline so that it reflects the new language of human intelligence, so that recruiters will actually find you, because that's what's going on now. Okay, they're not going from job boards anymore. There's too many fake job applicants and too many fake jobs. Okay, so what recruiters are doing is they're actually skimming LinkedIn, and they're spending most of their day running through LinkedIn, looking for keywords, looking for the right people, and then they come to you. Okay, but you've got to show that you know the new language. Otherwise, you don't even get past the front door. All right. And of course, once you've got your profile and your headline all redone, you're going to need a resume that reflects that language as well, so you know what you're talking about. And especially once you get into the interview, so you go over it, you get familiar with it, and you know how to speak the language in the interview. Okay, all of this stuff is, prime grade A beef. Okay, and then we take it a step further. We give you a list brought up by AI of 30 active jobs looking for human intelligence skills in your area using those job titles, okay? Things that you would never even know existed. And because we don't want to stop there, I just told you the recruiters are looking for you. Well, what if you can reach out to the recruiters? You also get a list of specialized recruiters in your field of choice. There's 5 different ones in the field guide, 5 different categories. Okay, you get a specialized recruiter list of recruiters who are actively looking for you right now today. Okay, the market has renamed the work, so you need the new map. This is the new map. The roles are hidden in plain sight. You need the new language. This is the new language. Okay, you've got to have these things, because if you only search for the old label, if you're only looking for another DEI job, you will miss the new doorway. Okay, it's been set up to screen you out. You've got to know the new code. This is the new code. All right, saying this a little bit more visually, the Human Intelligence Architecture Field Guide. Okay, human intelligence architecture is a newly invented field. And if somebody asks me, well, what is HIA? I would sum it up by saying it's the DEI replacement with a layer of AI ethical management attached. Okay, the idea is to make you think that you don't qualify because you don't have a lot of AI technology behind you. No, AI ethical management has nothing to do with being a techie. Okay, there is an urgent need right now for non-technical, diversity-trained leadership to enter this career field. And a lot of these states have put mandatory goals in place. They have to hire people for these jobs. Okay, but the only people who get considered are the ones who know the jobs exist. The Career Intelligence Report, I spoke on this earlier. Okay, it helps you evaluate what you already have and shows you what needs to be rebuilt. Okay, now this is a summary of what I said earlier. I was going kind of off the cuff, but here it is. It helps you see what your resume is actually saying. It helps you see what your LinkedIn profile is actually communicating. It informs you, tells you how the market is mislabeling you. I'm here to tell you, we've done about a dozen of these in the last month, and it has not failed to blow people's minds. Okay, what you think you're transmitting and what the market is actually receiving are so often two entirely different things. Okay, it's also going to reveal to you the hidden roles that you're already qualified for. It's going to tell you where your story is leaking value and where your positioning is costing you money. This is not career coaching. This is a full-on career intervention. All right, what to do now? Let me check back in here. Is any option for one-on-one coaching for the interviews? Yeah, quiet hiring, Jennifer. That's exactly the name of it, where the recruiters are scouring LinkedIn. All right. Let's see here. Would you ask option for one-on-one coaching? We'll talk about that offline. The short answer is yes. All right, back to the show. What to do now? So what do you do if you know it's time to move? You don't guess, you don't spiral, you don't keep throwing resumes into the void, okay? You set up your structure. And that is why we created the Career Reinvention Kit. The value of everything that I just described to you in this kit is almost $3,500. I'm not going to charge you $3,500. Don't worry about that. Okay. As a matter of fact, I told you we're only looking for 25 people. Okay. 25 people who can see this for the no-brainer that it is and make your move. Okay. So here it is. For you that are on this event, if you're watching the replay and we haven't gotten to 25 yet, it'll still be available. After we reach 25, it's going to go up. It won't go to 3,500. It'll probably go to about 1,000. Okay. But your event price today is only $297. That's less than 10 cents on the dollar. Why? Because we're looking for speed. We want people that are ready to get in, get going, and make things happen right now today. Come July, we've got a whole nother wave coming from these tech boys. Okay, they're not playing. They're serious about eliminating the middle class. Okay, they're splitting the society into two: those that have and those that don't. You don't want to be among those that don't. Even if you're thinking about leaving the country. Okay, if you show up as a have-not, that's called a refugee. You show up with something in hand, with some money, with a business, you're bringing jobs with you. Okay, now you show up as an immigrant and they welcome you with open arms. Okay, so let's not play. This is not the time to sit back and wait and see what happens. This is the time to make your move if you're ready to make your move. Okay, so how do you get involved in this? Who qualifies? This is what I'm going to want you to do, whether it's now or whether it's after we're done talking today. We set up a special webpage for you. It's called nervousaboutai.com. Go to nervousaboutai.com, click the apply button, complete the 5-minute questionnaire. Okay, this is why we're making this available to you at such a ridiculously low price, okay, is because we want two things from you. We want you to complete that 5-minute questionnaire so we know the kinds of people that we're bringing into this system. And second is we want the testimonials. All right, your testimonials are what is going to light the fire so that when we raise the prices and bring additional staff on and start running with this thing, people will know that what we have works. So you invest in us, we're investing in you. This is how we keep this high touch, results driven, and built for serious people. All right. So I'm going to take a breath. Nervousaboutai.com. Those of you that are ready to go there now, go ahead and take care of it. All right. Wow, that's an amazing deal. Jennifer, how soon can we get on a call? Let's see here. You already connected with me, so I will connect with you through your LinkedIn inbox, and we'll get you squared away. Okay. But in the meantime, you'll be able to save money and get a whole lot more bang for the buck by going to nervousaboutai.com. Come on in. All right. I'm going to take a couple minutes here and see if I can answer some of the most common questions that we normally get. We're talking about this thing, and then I'll give you guys your afternoon back. Here we go. This is what we covered today. Today, we talked about why this moment feels so uncertain, why old career strategies are failing, why hustle alone is not enough. We went over the 4 pillars of the pivot with power system. We talked about why your human skills matter more than ever. We talked about how HIA, Human Intelligence Architecture, the CIR, the Career Intelligence Report, and our ecosystem of world-class mentors support your reinvention. And we talked about how to take the next step with the Career Reinvention Kit. So here's some questions I have for you. Will you keep interpreting yourself through an expired frame, or will you reposition in time to benefit from the changes that we see happening all around us? As the jobs are being reshaped, the real game is interpretation. So the questions are, who can read the shift fastest? Who can translate old experience into new market value? That's the biggest thing, in my opinion, that you guys are going to need to be able to present yourself, in the marketplace as, is you got to be able to show that you're not a relic of the previous era. You're not a leftover from the past. You're an answer to the risks of the next era coming in. That's what you are. But you've got to be able to express it. You got to be able to realize it yourself, and you got to go where the targets are. So decide who you will be. You can absorb the fear, most will, or you can build the future. You can wait for permission, so many are, or you can deliver excellence independently. You can let AI happen to you, or you can learn to command the tools, the tools of the age. The future belongs to the builders. Let's build. Take your next step. Go to nervousaboutAI.com, fill out the 5-minute quiz to apply for your strategy session and your career reinvention kit. First 25, only $2.97, less than 10 cents on the dollar. Drop ready in the comments if you know it's time to make your move. Okay? That's our show for today, ladies and gentlemen. I want you to keep something in mind. It's not the fighter who falls. It's not the fighter who gets knocked down that loses the fight. It's the fighter who doesn't get back up. So until next time, keep getting up, keep building, and pivot with power, not panic. Welcome to the resistance. My name is Lance T. Walker, and until next time, make it happen. Bye-bye.